The White House will take a final call on India's request for a rollback of higher import tariffs on steel and aluminium imposed by the U.S. The U.S. Trade Representative's office has forwarded to the White House all arguments made by India on why it should not be saddled with higher import duties. It is the U.S. President's office which would now have to decide the matter, a government official privy to the recent India-U.S. Trade Policy Forum dialogue told Business Line. The U.S. imposed a 25% levy on steel and 10% on aluminium on a handful of countries, including India and China, in March, ostensibly to protect U.S. national security and economic interests. India wants the U.S. to revoke the levy, as was done in the case of the EU, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, South Korea, Canada and Mexico. Our main argument against the duty increase is that India has actually taken steps over the past year to reduce the trade deficit with the US, and the same can't be said about countries like China, the official said. In 2017, the US trade deficit with India came down to $22.8 billion from $24.3 billion. In a single year, 2017, the U.S. exports to India jumped to $25.7 billion, from $21.7 billion in 2016, the official said. The U.S. trade deficit with China, on the other hand, increased to about $375 billion in 2017 from $345 billion in 2016. We pointed to the concrete efforts made by the country in increasing imports from the U.S. at the India-U.S. Trade Policy Forum meeting this week, and insisted that these should be recognized and the increased duty on steel and aluminium be rolled back, the official said. Strategic partner New Delhi also pointed out that the country has been a strategic partner of the U.S. in defense for a long time and posed absolutely no security threat, the USTR office. Representatives assured us that all our arguments were being forwarded to the White House, which will go through it and take a final decision on the matter, the official said. The government is working on the actual hit that the steel and aluminium industry could take because of the increased tariffs by the U.S. The hit that our industry will take will not just be restricted to the fall in exports to the U.S. The fallout would also be incidental, as it could get crowded out of its other global markets, which would see more intense competition from China and Japan, which stand to lose the market in the U.S., the official explained. While China has hit out at the U.S. unilateral measures by announcing reciprocal tariffs on a number of items exported by the U.S. to the country, no other country has yet adopted the tit-for-tat measure. New Delhi could complain to the World Trade Organization (WTO) against the higher import tariffs if these are not withdrawn, as the duties have been imposed selectively and go against multilateral trade rules.